Hi, welcome to Get Known, Be Seen WebTV. I'm your host, Trish Springsteen, and it's my absolute delight to be having a conversation with Louise Keramaris. Welcome, Louise.
Hi, Trish. How are you?
Absolutely awesome. And Louise, I'd like to ask you to please do a welcome to country for us.
Okay, just a correction, acknowledgement of country. Welcome can only be done by an elder from the traditional land that I'm standing on. So, yeah, I want to acknowledge the land of the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation, which is the land that I'm on, and pay respects to the elders that have held, I guess, the sacredness of this place and space since the beginning of time, and also yeah, I guess bring forth and acknowledge my ancestors and your ancestors in the guidance that we've all been given in, I guess, being here today and what we're here to do on this planet. Thank you.
Thank you, Louise, and thank you for that acknowledgement. And you're very true. I always get that mixed up a bit because I often have someone there who's from the Indigenous community and they do the welcome. So thank you for that, and thank you for that acknowledgement. And that's so true for us to acknowledge where we are and where we're going and who's been here before us. So thank you.
Yeah.
So we're going to have a great conversation with Louise. She's got some awesome things to discuss with us. But before we do, let's find out a little bit about Louise and what she's been doing. So Louise Keramaris is a passionate, results-focused, experienced person in diverse roles as a policy officer, carer, auntie, friend, daughter, mentor, activist, educator, artist, photographer, writer, author, and a coach. And I think somewhere in amongst all that, Louise takes time to breathe. But I'm not aware. In her coaching role, she specialises in career development and transition, inner work, mindset, and personal growth and affirmation coaching. Louise works part-time as a policy officer in Department Education and Training in the Koorie Outcomes Branch and has over 20 years experience in senior leadership roles across a range of government sectors in early childhood and education, primarily in Koorie Outcomes, Aboriginal Affairs, aged care, primary health, disability, sport and recreation, crisis counselling and community service sectors, and over 8 years experience in delivering coach. This is one awesome lady that we are going to be having a chat with. Absolutely awesome. Louise understands the importance of fostering a culture of integrity, transparency, accountability, and quality improvement, quickly building trust with individuals. Louise draws on tools and resources to empower people with their strengths, to also set realistic goals to their careers, business, and personal lives. Louise's experience in facilitating change and with a focus on mindset and heart, coupled with her compassion and emotional intelligence, enhances her ability to work with diverse people across government and community. Louise strives to work with diverse people to bring out their values and empower each person to lead more satisfying lives in service to each other, the environment, and the planet more broadly. Thank you so much, Louise, for being here with us. And wow, that is an awesome bio. How you find time for all of that is absolutely amazing. So share a little bit of this. How do you fit all that into what Louise does?
Well, I probably time to edit that. I've always been told I go far too deep and wide. Look, I guess I make the most of every single day in my life, and I hardly watch. I don't watch any television. I'm basically, I guess, focusing on my values, which is about being in service in some way. So it's about, looking at where there might be a particular problem that needs to be kind of addressed. So one of the things that I do is I get actively involved in my community. So when I was living in the West, I actually participated in the Inner West community group, which looked at a whole range of things from air pollution through to the construction of the Westgate Tunnel through to, you know, other sort of community activities. Now that I'm living in the East, I'm part of the Manningham Community Panel and being part of a broader group of people shaping the vision for Manningham and where we're going and the priorities. So I get quite actively involved. I'm driven, I guess. I want to make the most of the short time that we have on this planet, right? And part of that is being true to things that I'm passionate about and making the most of my life, really.
I love that.
And breathing, yes.
Oh, yes, I'm glad you got some breathing in there. It's really important to life, honestly. Someone tells me this. Very important. But what I love is that you step up and leave a footprint. And so often we don't do that. And I think that's a particularly awesome part of what you're sharing with us. What challenges have you had in taking that journey where you want to take that journey, in being yourself and walking those steps, which is sometimes a bit of a different dance to what other people are doing? So how has that affected? How have you worked with that?
Yeah, I guess in terms of challenges, I see challenges as growth opportunities, you know, and I think I've invested quite heavily in my own personal development. You name the course, I've probably done it or dabbled in it, from, you know, work with Tony Robbins and through to, you know, sort of leadership training with Kerwin Rae and whatnot. I think that's prepared me with the challenges that I face. So, for example, quite a number of years ago now, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. And I saw that as an opportunity to look at, well, how did that get into my body? What do I need to do to address it and in a holistic way, and not go down the path, you know, that I guess would be expected in sort of the dominant sort of discourse out there. And it took me down a path of discovery around education, around health and well-being. And I met the most extraordinary people along the way. One of the first courses that I did was with this beautiful man, Don Tolman, from Utah, and learned a lot about whole food medicine and the way First Nations people kind of looked at healing as well. And I met the most extraordinary, you know, mentors as well, like this amazing person by the name of Joe Lyons, and a spiritual teacher, because part of the understanding around disease and my own health is to understand the emotional energy that how that creates disease, but also the food that you eat, the air that you breathe. You know, I've learned so much more about the impact of diesel and particulate matter and how that sticks into the lungs and the circulatory system. So it's been that's a good example of a challenge which has taken me down a path of discovery around educating myself and putting in practice ways in which I can release whatever it is that's causing the disease in my body, I guess. And that's the way, I guess, my brain has been slowly wired over the course of the years, is to look at, I keep asking myself when I'm in the middle of a crisis, I keep asking, and this is something Kerwin Rae taught us, what's the benefit of this? What am I learning? And when you ask those two questions in the middle of a crisis, it's phenomenal, the shift that happens.
Awesome. I like that viewpoint, because too often when we're in the middle of a crisis or a challenge, that's what we focus on, the crisis and the challenge, and we let it become so negative and pull us down. And I love that viewpoint of looking at it as a learning exercise of how we can move forward. And I think that's a brilliant way of moving forward with what you're doing. You've got a business called Infinite Inspiration. And let's tell you a little bit about how you've challenged your viewpoints, because I think from that infinite inspiration, I'm getting that you've taken your life lessons and the way you like to live your life, and you've brought that into your business. Would you like to share a little bit about that?
Yes, and yeah, I mean, I deliberately chose those words to acknowledge and honour the infinite level of inspiration that exists, that's unique to each human being. Okay, because that's been part of my journey, is to overcome issues around self-worth and self-doubt and not knowing where I fit in the world, and then going, you know what, the fact that I'm here, that you're here, we're a miracle, right? And we need to honor that. And so in the coaching space, I'm very much about, and also in my engagement with people on a day-to-day basis, I really want to see the uniqueness and draw out that respect and the level of, I guess, love and compassion that I have for other human beings, right? I'm here because I want you to believe in that part of you that perhaps you haven't grappled with yet, and to draw that out in a way that will take you down the right trajectory of life. Because we are so easily brainwashed, I'd have to say, by advertising and marketing, and you're supposed to look in this way or be like this or do this career or that career, that there's very little opportunity to sit back and kind of reflect and go, actually, who am I? What am I here being, doing, behaving, contributing, serving? And I even have started to question the whole notion of business, and I go, I think I'm in the serviceness area. I'm in service, because I hope and I have an aspiration that all of us humans are here to make some contribution to make the place a better place for future generations to come. That's kind of my inherent purpose. And as a coach, I've aimed to, I guess, get the level of training and work with the people that know this stuff, so that I can then provide the best of the best to the people that resonate and want to work with me. I guess that's probably the upshot of it all.
Thank you so much for opening that little window and sharing who Louise is, because in amongst all that, people, I think you probably need to stop and rewind right now, go back and listen again to what Louise just shared. There was a lot of gold nuggets in there and a lot of things that I also personally resonate with, because we are all unique. And it's something I share with my mentoring clients, that we are unique. So go back and listen, because what Louise is saying really goes to who you are, and that flows across to whatever you want to do, whether it's in your business, whether you're writing books, whether you've got products, service, bricks and mortar. It flows across to that. So there's several gold nuggets. I said, stop, rewind, and just listen very carefully to what Louise shared there, because those things, if nothing else in this conversation, you take those away, then you've taken something very valuable away. So I really appreciate Louise sharing that part of who you are and how you bring that into your coaching. And I love the infinite inspiration. Absolutely brilliant. So as part of what you are and who you are and what you share and what with people, what challenges have you had in what we say getting known, being seen? How have you worked to reach those people that need to find you? What's worked for you?
Okay. So I guess I am quite active on Facebook and Instagram. Part of the message that I want to share is to share the nuggets around a particular mindset thinking. So it's bringing forth I guess those things that have made a difference in my life and sharing that, and also the issues that are important to me, because I would like to work with people that actually share the same things that I believe in, and the environment is one that's really, really big. The other thing that I've done is a few years back now is been part of this book. It's called Dance in the Fire of Life, and I have beautiful Vicky Gotsa-Saraso to thank for to being part of this I guess movement, if you like, of up to 27 women that were selected to share their stories around what would be the kind of key messages that you would impart to other women and yeah, humanity more broadly. And it was just wonderful. I caught up with Vicky last night. She's launched, worked with another 10 people for another book recently. And I know she's going to be interviewed by you very, very shortly. And look, and I have to say, I'm not very good at actually marketing myself, right? So part of what I do is I think the right people will come to me in the right time. And I feel very blessed because I work at the Department of Education and Training, and in a Koorie Outcomes division. So very, very privileged to be in that space, which is about honouring, I guess, the values of First Nations people in the way that I think we would like to see the transformation of the department come about, and that's from early childhood through to schools and higher education as well, and to bring forth the Aboriginal culture and history, and to really, you know, embed that understanding across our community, but to really honour our First Nations people. So that keeps me really, really busy as well. But I guess for me, it's also about the time and place for when people do want to work with me and find me, they will. And I guess that's part of the offer that you reached out to today to do this interview as well. Because yeah, I'm not one for self-promotion as much as I'd like to think I do, but it's more about what are the things that are important that you want to work on, and if I share that with you, then come work with me, basically.
That's awesome. It's really about being there, and what you're doing and what you've just said is the crux of the whole matter. It's being you, and it's sharing your story. And what you've done is shared a little bit of your story, and that's allowing you to be out there so that those people need to find you. You're making it easy for them. And it's all about what you do for the people that come. And that's sort of what you've been sharing of us, is how you stand in a position and say, well, this is who I am. These are my values. This is where I am. Here I am. Come and get me. And that's what we need to be looking at. There's so many people who don't want to stand in that position and own their space. And what you're saying is stand there, own your space, own your message, be open about it. And when you do that, then you are shining a light and making it easy for people to find you. But if you don't step up and stand there in the first place, it makes it very hard. So thank you. And I honor you for standing up and being who you are and say, this is it, this is me, and this is the space I want to occupy. So there again, people, there's some brilliant gold nuggets there that Louise has shared. So just step back a bit, rewind, and have another listen. And this is the awesome thing I find when I'm interviewing all my people that come on. They have so many gold nuggets. And I'm always telling people, stop, rewind, listen. And that's what you can do with this, because you can do that and take on board. Now, it's not the only book that you've been in. You've also been part of what we call a 1000 Ripple Effect project by Stacey Hewish. Do you want to share a little bit how you got involved with that, and where's that taken you?
Okay, well, yeah, that was a really, really, there's a gold nugget there. Is when I was doing my business mentoring with Kerwin Ray, he said to us, make sure that you subscribe to, I think it was Source Bottle. Yes. Source Bottle, and basically it's a platform that does advertisements every now and again for different people that want services, and I saw the 1000 Ripple Effect project, and what Stacey was looking for was somebody to do her blogs, and so I thought that it just resonated with me for some reason. because I saw the opportunity of connection. And for me, it's all about the relationship that I develop with people. And I love that notion. And after talking to Stacey and hearing about her vision of bringing together 1,000 people across the planet that are going to be, I guess, guiding and providing the message to young people that perhaps don't have a parent or haven't got an elder in their, I guess, in their lives, and what are the key messages that I thought, okay, I want to be part of this. And so I started blogging for her, and then as I started doing the blogs, that she invited me to also share my story for young people. And I truly, you know, I guess I haven't looked back from there, because Stacey is a human being who resonates totally with my values around the kind of contribution that we want to make, which is about, you know, kind of empowering young people and giving them the kind of opportunities so that they can then thrive and flourish in this world. And she's got an extraordinary passion, and she just lives it totally. And so that was what led me down that path. And as a result, I actually identified people in my network that I think needed to be part of that as well. So Vicky, who led this particular book, you know, is now part of that network, and 2 other beautiful friends of mine as well, who I saw as leaders in terms of people that could inspire and have inspired young people along the way as well. So
thank you for sharing. And out of that, not only the great project that you're part of, 2 more little gold nuggets, people. It's opportunities. It's being open to opportunities, and Source Bottle is a good opportunity. So anybody who is looking to get known, be seen, and looking for opportunities to connect with people and make it easy for people to find them, Source Bottle is an awesome place to go. And the other one was referrals. It's a great opportunity if for you to refer people. When you do referral to people, you are passing on a connection that you've got, and if people refer you to others, that it's word of mouth, and it's nothing. I think credibility is enormous when you are referred to someone, because that means that that person has worked with you, known you or something, and thinks enough of you to say, hey, go have a conversation with Louise. I love what she's doing, and it resonates with me, and it will probably resonate with you. There is nothing more golden than having a referral like that. And that is something that we don't do very often, do we, Louise? It's funny, we don't seem to refer very much, do we?
Well, it's interesting you say that, because I'm constantly on the lookout, because one of my values is, you know, being of service. So I want to help and empower my friends and people that I absolutely love and adore, and I want to lift them as much as, you know, trying to lift myself in that journey as well. So I'm always kind of looking at opportunities. You know, one of my friends, for example, is an extraordinary artist. She's an Indigenous artist, and the other day in the workplace, I noticed they showcase an artist every month on the wall, but they create like a movie kind of screen. And I thought, what a great opportunity for my friend Alex. So I literally got on the phone and I got the business card of the concierge, and I thought, well, that's it. I'm going to email them and, you know, and get that happening. So I'm constantly kind of looking at, well, how can I help my friends? How can I help people that I admire and respect along their journey? Because I think in giving, you know, that you do receive, that gives me the greatest level of joy to be able to help somebody along their path as well. But you're right.
Yes, we should do more of it, and it's a win-win. People really get that. As you, the more you give out, the more you do that, you are sending a lot of energy out there, and that energy is going to come back. It may not be straight away, it might be a different aspect, but you will get it back. It's a win-win completely and absolutely. And we all accept that. We probably might have a better world.
Yeah.
Might be. We can hope. We can always hope.
Yes.
That way. If there's something that you'd like to be remembered for, what would it be?
Look, I think for my loving, my loving fun loving nature, and I'm a bit of a joker, I'd have to say. I like to I like to probably appropriately, inappropriately make the odd joke and just bring some joy to people's lives, and to have made my mark in such a way to have been known that, you know what, she lived, 110%, and just, until the life force was taken from me, down to the last breath. I think that she lived to the last breath, and was totally immersed in life, and and I truly live as though each day is and could be your last day, to be quite honest. And the way I engage and in the presence of people, I'm mindful of when we say goodbye or see you later, it might well be the last time, and and having that sense of gratitude around being truly present in the presence of someone.
I think that's brilliant. And live to the last breath. I love it. And totally immersed in love. There is so much joy out there, isn't there, Louise? There's just so much. And if we just give out joy, we can only it's planting seeds of joy. And if we can plant those seeds and let them grow, it would be a brilliantly beautiful world. And I love and celebrate and acknowledge your joy that you're sharing with us. It's absolutely brilliant. Thank you for sharing. And I personally know very much that you never know what's going to happen when you wake up one day. So live each day to the most. It's the most thing. The one thing I could say, and I can absolutely endorse what you're saying, the biggest gold nugget there, people, is really do live each day to the most, and take it and bring 100% of who you are to that day. It's amazing what comes back when you do that. Absolutely amazing. What's something most people don't know about you?
Okay. What most people don't know about me. Look, that I do have a couple of secrets, actually, that I will take to my grave.
Good. I think that's probably something. We all have some things that we might want to take there or on the other side, but
I'm most people don't know. Most people think that I'm actually a very private person. So on the one hand, like, even though I'm quite public, I'm actually quite private. So I don't think people know that truly until you know me. And when I say a couple of things will be taken to my grave, like, I shared that with my parents. My dad has passed on. He passed on Anzac Day last year, and he knows. And he's working with me in the afterlife. He's right here, right now. And so my spiritual connection is so strong. Most people don't know that about me, but we'll know that now. That's very intuitive. Yeah, very.
Listen, Louise, that wasn't such a secret. I think I could have. I got that within a few minutes of speaking of you, that you are extremely intuitive and very spiritual and very connected. And that shines completely. So you're not really hiding it as well as you think you are. It's part of who Louise is, and that's what shines out there. So thank you for sharing that. Don't tell anybody else. It's a secret for those. So who has influenced you the most?
Ooh. Look, I have to say, I mean, I think, look, my dad, who has since passed over, who's right here, definitely has, and my mum, actually. I think their DNA is definitely running right through me, coexisting. Dad, very, phenomenal work ethic, phenomenal, and very much my way or the highway, like driven, and a man of honor and integrity, definitely. And my mum has the big as so I think I hope that I embody, the two within me.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
definitely.
Thank you for sharing. And it's beautiful when you can say that and honor those people. Absolutely beautiful. Thank you for sharing for us with that. How can people connect with you if they'd like to work with you or know a little bit more about you?
Yep. Well, there is, you can connect with me on Instagram. So it's Infinite Inspiration LK, which I know you're going to share. You can find me on Facebook as well, Infinite Inspiration, or even Louise Keramaris, and go through Messenger. And then there's, in the email, louise@infiniteinspiration.com.au, and and also my phone number as well. So there's multiple ways. I'm quite public, and even though I'm quite private, but so
Awesome.
Whichever way.
Those links will all be below, people. And it's one thing I would say to you: stop and listen to and rewind and listen to a lot of what Louise has said. There is some very deep, some very meaningful information there. If you're prepared to sit and listen and take on board what she has had to say, there are gold nuggets that Louise has shared, and things that you can take and add to any part of your life to just grow and grow in your personal growth. It's all you can do. The day you stop growing, the day maybe you are not going to be here much longer. If we don't keep growing, we stagnate. So thank you for sharing that. We could chat for ages, Louise, we really could, but thank you so much for being here and for opening up and sharing just a little bit about your so private life, which may be not quite so private. Thank you for sharing. Thank you.
Thank you, Trish. Bless you.
Thank you. People, you've been watching Get Known Be Seen WebTV. It's been my absolute honor to have Louise here, Louise Keramaris, sharing some of her information, some of a little bit about an insight into her life, into her stories, into who she is and what she's been doing here. Some of the things that have really resonated with me, and I think one of the biggest one was live to the last breath and totally immersing yourself in life. If we could just do that, if nothing else, then our lives would be so much more joyful and so much more productive. I love the fact that she's in service and the fact that she's had some awesome mentors. Especially also I love her thoughts around mindset and her thinking of being able to be here and the challenges of growing and personal development. So much in there, people, for you to listen. Get Known Be Seen WebTV. I'm your host, Trish Springsteen. I'm a creative business consultant, Australia's leading expert in empowering introverts, a multi-international award-winning mentor, and an international best-selling author. But most specifically, I'm here because I love to give people the opportunity to be able to step up here on my show and get known, be seen. So it's open for people who've got a book, a new message, a business, something that they really want to take a deep breath and have the courage and say, look, here I am. This is what I'm doing. So it makes it easy for people to find you. I'm also here for those who are experts in helping people to get known, be seen, who like to share their tips and their strategies and what's worked for them. So if you are either one of those who would like to be a guest on my show, just connect with me. I've got details below and I would love to have a conversation with you. Now, if you're looking for someone that you would like to interview, hey, I'm here and I love being interviewed as well. And if you're also looking for a speaker to speak on your stages, your events, your meetings, whether it's in person or online, absolutely would love to come and share some of my story, my message with you, and you can connect below. Don't forget, people, there is a lovely big button below here which says subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. You will always then be notified when I have absolutely awesome guests like Louise with me, and you will never miss out on an episode of Get Known, Be Seen Web TV. Thank you for watching, and make sure you take on board some of those challenges that Louise has left with you in this particular session. Thank you, Louise.
Thank you. Thank you, Trish. Bye.
Bye.